All right.
Never
Sorry,
a dull
guys.
moment. Yeah, so we use OBS, the Open Broadcasting System.
And then I think it's just the camera just froze. I think
Yeah,
it's the camera's
we're not sure if
issues.
it's the camera or OBS,
OBS,
but either way, it
yeah.
crashed in the middle of it, and once it crashes, we lose the stream and we have to start a new one. So,
Sorry about that.
sorry about that, guys. We had to
Yeah.
set up all the streams on YouTube and Facebook again, but we wanted to come back to finish answering questions for anyone that had them.
Yeah. So let's get back the questions. Don't waste any time at all. So
Sure.
yeah. The next questions that they're asking is, will the soft mounts for the antennas will be sent out and to users that previously purchased the core before?
So we'll have more information on when that's
Yeah.
going out soon.
Yeah. And then so can the trimmer go vertical so I can edge?
No, actually, technically you can set the trimmer vertical, but that actually is for just changing the spool. We wanted to do that, but there was no way we could do that in a realistic timeline. So we're either going to come out with a dedicated edger or, in a while from now, a second generation, but that won't be anytime soon. Yeah, this
Yeah, and then the next question is, can I order the replacement blades from my Mower Pro and string for the trimmer?
yes, definitely.
Yeah. And then, so is the flex antenna for sale or provided to the current owners?
So we'll send out updates for that on how you guys can get the new flex antennas. We just have to go over that with the team. And we're still kind of just getting the logistics of it down.
And then let's back to the YouTube questions because we do have a questions from YouTube. So what happens if the Yarbo backs into let's say a wall with the trimmer on?
Yeah. So what happens if Yarbo backs into a wall with, let's say, a trimmer on it? Sure. So the arm itself, we can detect the angle on the back of it. So we have a minimum angle that when we hit, we can detect if it's collided with an object, and then when it reaches its maximum angle, we can also detect that. And then we have an algorithm to kind of filter out false hits. So if your question is like, if it backs up, is it going to keep backing up? No, we can tell that by the angle of the trimmer. Yeah, so it's kind of like obstacle avoidance that's built in for the trimmer.
Gotcha. And then how do you start up the trimmer with the remote? It isn't working when your attempts to.
Well, it looks like the question got cut off.
Yeah. The question's kind of cut off, and then not sure the questions. But if you're still there, please let us know. We can answer the questions back. Yeah. And then so let's move forward. So
Sure.
Yarbo needs an options to not shrink the map, draw, and leave borders not moved.
Yeah, so it says Yarbo needs an option to not shrink the map drawn and leave borders not mowed. I feel like it's an excuse to force me to buy the trimmer. Yeah, so that's actually not the reason at all, but I could see why you would maybe come to that determination. So the reason why there's a border left now is because without dead reckoning, when you're against fences and things like that, you'll get a bunch of false triggers. Even RTK GPS can have a 2 centimeter. If you're up against the fence, it could have a 6 centimeter deviation, right? 10 centimeters as well. So it needs to leave a buffer for that reason. When dead reckoning is pushed out, we will definitely allow you to set that boundary. So if you want to go closer or even have it follow exactly as you mapped it, we can do that. But you really need dead reckoning in order for us to do that. And even then, just to be clear, you're still going to leave a gap, right? Because safety standards make us leave a gap. We pushed the blades on both the 2024 and the Pro the furthest out that safety regulations would allow us. But you're always going to have to trim no matter what, just so, unless you have the trimmer. It's just safety regulations that prevent us from having open blades, right?
Okay. Yeah, and then if we maps with the trimmer attached and then back up for corners as Ken you mentioned, and how does that affect the path planning for mowing?
Sure. So let me just see here. if we map with the, sorry, I just want to say this. If we map with the trimmer attached and back up for corners, how does that affect the path planning for mowing? So actually, that's a good question. So those path memories for trimming are actually independent of your plan. So the idea being we keep that buffer if you have the trimmer, and Yarbo will do a perimeter run. But the trimming path or path memory, you can have as many of those as you want, and you can actually control the order in your plan. So if you only want to trim even like, say, like I don't trim every time I mow. I usually trim like once a week. So I can set up a schedule that says, okay, you know, mow the lawn on these days and then also trim on these days, right? It's completely independent, which we found just gives you more freedom. It also gives the lawn a break of going around the perimeter trimming every time. So.
Great. So like we have more options to let the trim when it's trimmed or when it's mowed, and then not like mixed together. Yeah. And then the Yarbo needs and options, like I think we already answered these questions, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see here. Best way to handle a warranty and avoid downtime. My mower units just are something. Sorry, it's just something, and it sounds
just
horrible.
ate something and it sounds horrible when I engage the blades.
Yeah.
So if your mower hit something and you broke like a razor blade or cracked a disc, the first thing I would check is, did you lose a razor blade because it struck an object? If you did, replace the razor blade, because once that disc gets out of balance, it will sound horrible, right? Anything will that's spinning fast, because it's now wobbling at a really high rate. So it probably sounds like banging even though it's not. So extra razor blades on hand is good. We do include extra razor blades. And then, I mean, it depends what you're mowing. So in my yard, I've broken one disc in, I want to say 3 years. There are some people out there that never break discs. There are other people that, because of their terrain, they break discs. You know, they have rocks and things like that blades could catch on. And it doesn't matter if you have a regular lawnmower, you're probably going to bend the blade. On ours, you're going to break the disc, right? So maybe just getting an extra set on hand of the disc would be a good idea. But yeah, that's about it. Sounds way worse than it is, though.
I feel like sometimes if it's not balanced, it sounds weird. So it will be also alert you that like, oh, something's happened. So you might need to check it out. Yeah, and it's just like different way to like let you know that if something's happened.
Yeah, usually you'll get a message that says the blades can't get up to speed or something like that.
Yeah. And then the next question, it seems like when my Yarbo mower avoids and then obstacle, it passes by, but goes way out of its path before it returns, and then missing some area that it doesn't come back and gets it. So is that a typical obstacle avoidance?
Yeah. So we did a lot of work to get Yarbo close to obstacles. In fact, closer than a lot of competitors as far as truly going around an obstacle, right? Some mowers, when they get to an obstacle, they go in the opposite direction, and then eventually they'll pass the other side, and when they get to the other side of that obstacle, they'll fill in the other side. But usually then the sides are left not mowed in a great way. There's the sides that have unmowed area, right? So we opted to go around obstacles. One of the things that we're doing with the new obstacle avoidance update is not only trying to get closer to obstacles, but to judge when we should go around an obstacle and when we should just go the other way. Because sometimes it is more efficient to go the other way. Yeah. Sometimes it's more efficient to just go around a small obstacle and get as close as we can to it. Yeah. But the simple fact is, without any mower with obstacle avoidance, if it doesn't have a trimmer, you're always going to leave a little bit of gap around what you're avoiding. And again, that's due to just the safety regulations. You already have a buffer worked into every single robotic lawnmower mowing deck that we're required to do, not just us, all our competitors. So the only other option then is to have a trimmer that will then go and trim around no-go zones and objects, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But good question.
Yeah, thanks for those questions. And then, so people's asking like when our Yarbo Pro will be shipped out.
Yeah, so I believe the Yarbo Pro is still on time, so it should be shipping out very, very soon.
Yep. And then, so So the next question also about the Pro. Does the Pro version handle steep hills as well? Oh, the Pro versions. Yeah. So it's still like no matter it's the current version of the mower or the Pro versions, still like they have like the same capability to handle the like steep hill like 70%.
Yeah. So I see another question here. It says, waiting patiently for the Mower Pro. Interested to see how much better the cut will be. Right now, it seems the mower pushes some of the grass down and doesn't cut all of it. So if you have very tall grass, one of the benefits to the Pro is that underneath it's a lot more opened. It's a lot more open actually, and that's because the blades, the structure itself has a lot more reinforcement, right? It has to. So with traditional blades, if you were to hit an object, they're gonna break, right? If you hit an object hard enough, I should say. So that is one benefit of the Pro. If you cut at a high cut of cut height. Sorry, couldn't find my words there. So so it will perform better in that respect if you're cutting at like 4 inches or 3.5 inches. Below that, again, unless you're going really, really short, you're probably not going to notice that big of a difference.
Yeah, true. And then when's the new update coming? And then can Yarbo not string the original map drawn?
I think we're saying one and the same thing. So this might be a question too from when we had answered maybe before we got cut, before we went offline. But yeah, so that ability to not shrink it and just draw it as you drew it will come with Dead Reckoning, and that is coming next month. So for sure.
Is there gonna be the blades like on the Pro for the first Yarbo mower?
No. So we answered that earlier, but straight blades cannot run on the existing lawnmower for a multitude of reasons. The biggest one being lack of power. The second one being the internal structure is very different to support impacts on the straight blades, and the other one is a much more open deck underneath.
Yeah. I think we already answered these questions, but still, again. So, is there any estimate date for the Deck Reckoning to be pushed out? So, yeah, it's coming soon. So,
Yep. For sure.
Yeah, and then another question is Kent. So you talk about scheduling mowing plus the trimming on the different dates. Is Yarbo reviewing the schedule functionality per that long discussions in the forum several weeks ago? And are any schedule changes being considered?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we are doing, which I think is in next month's release, but I'll have to double check that. But I know that we are absolutely working on updating the scheduler just to give you guys more flexibility for sure.
Yep. And then my app says an update is available. I don't have my data center mounted yet. Should I take the update before installation the data center or wait? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So when you set up the data center, your app is going to tell you that the data center is out of date. You can actually go in and check the version also, but it's going to realize that it's out of date and you need to update the data center. So the only thing I would tell you is the data center goes off Bluetooth. I have mine mounted on my roof. I can connect to it no problem with Bluetooth, but we have some customers that literally already have unique cases where they have a satellite pole and it's way up there. So I would, just if you have a regular roof, no problem, just update it. If not, update it before you mount it if it's going to be super, super high.
And then the next question is our existing customers. He has some tickets and then trying to need help. So definitely our support team, this one. So definitely our support team's working on the tickets every day, and then they're working hard, and then hopefully they will get back to you as soon as possible.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, thanks for waiting for us. So
yep.
Yeah. Why are some Yarbos only doing 0 turns when smart turns are set all the time? And can you please ensure that it doesn't 0 turn even in tight area and at pathways?
Yeah, so pathways, the memorized path is probably going to help a lot in those respects, because right now when you do a pathway, even when you do a dead end, it doesn't actually follow the exact way you're doing it. And I noticed that myself, and it is, in certain situations it can definitely be frustrating because Yarbo chooses to do 0 turns when really it should just follow exactly the way that you drew the path, because you can make smooth turns and whatnot, or back up a few times if you need to.
Sure.
When Yarbo is doing dead ends until it goes in reverse and does the whole dead end in reverse, the forward way, it's only moving forward. It won't back up to make a turn. So that path memory will take care of that for sure. I just want to make sure I didn't.
Yeah.
And in tight areas, I think that's going to be the same thing, provided the tight areas are around your boundary. I know with the obstacle avoidance side of things, we're working on that as well. So if you're by like a no-go zone and the boundary is really close to that, again, the path memory will probably take care of that. But if you have two no-go zones, that are very close to each other, we are optimizing that as well, because we definitely don't want to be doing a lot of 0 turns unless you tell us to do 0 turns in the settings.
Yep. And then another current users has another questions about the mapping issues. So I originally mapped my backyard as the two different sections, and then is it possible to delete the separations and the combine into one area?
I'm going to refer to Maxon for that. Maxon? Maxon's behind us. He's one of our UI designers.
Yeah.
Can you repeat?
Yeah, sure. So I know we are working on this. I don't know if it's available now, but if they go into Edit Map and they have 2 areas, right? So they had a section, they made 2 areas basically side by side, right?
Yeah.
And they want to combine those 2 areas to 1 area.
I think.
Okay, so the areas splitting and area merging will be out, hopefully later. October.
So we do have this.
So
we're just working on this.
Yeah. So that functionality is coming, but in the meantime, what you could do is delete one area, and then go into the settings for your map, delete the one area, and then you can go to edit on the other area, and you could just extend the other area so that you don't have to
remap.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
So.
right. Thanks to the questions that you just asked. All right. I think. Let me see if you guys do have more questions. Can you offer some discounts to buy a Pro if you already buy the full Yarbo system? So actually, we like for right now we already passed the time that we have.
We don't have any discounts specifically for the Pro, but we do have discounts that we're announcing, and I think actually an email has already gone out to a lot of customers, but we are doing something special for existing customers, not related to the Pro itself, but just as a thank you of appreciation. So you will be getting
if
that.
you are like current existing users, please check out your emails, and then you can know from there. And then I'm learning that my swap is going.
My swamp is going to require M1 Pro.
M1 Pro. My M1 can handle my. Was that like a curge? But if I have to wait for more than a week, I have to mow multiple times before it looks good again.
Yeah, so that is a good use case for the Pro if you get really, really wet grass, for sure. So a lot of our users on the 2024, they just remove the guards, which we can't tell you to do, but they do that, and that stops a lot of the grass buildup. But cutting when it's wet is challenging for even large 0-turn mowers. So the Pro will definitely help you there, for sure.
And then I think the next question is that will the Yarbo eventually not have to turn around right in front of the duck, so it kind of kills the grass?
Yes, absolutely. So one thing I would say is make sure that you don't have 0-turn picked right now. The other thing is choose smart turn, but absolutely. What it really should be doing is, since it knows the distance away from the dock, it should be choosing what looks like random points to alternate when it makes those turns, for sure. That's something a lot of robots struggle with. It's on our list. We just have a very long list of improvements that we want to do. Things obviously we haven't even spoken about, but for sure we are working on that. That's a great point.
And then, can you discuss the difference in dead-end behavior in a mow area versus one of that is completely in no-go zone area?
Wait, can you discuss the difference in dead-end behavior in a mow area versus one that is completely in no-go zone?
In no-go zone?
I don't really understand that.
Yeah.
If you can ask it a different way.
Just let us know that if you're still there, just let us know what specific questions are, because we get kind of a little bit confused about that. But just let us know. We will get back to you later. So
so your support along the way while I was first learning has been superior. Thank you. Thank you. Still learning. I need to learn to use the dead end function. Is there a Yarbo video to show how it's done? I would for sure think there's a YouTube video. There's a bunch of how YouTube videos on dead ends, but why don't we write that down to check with the team? If there's not a video on it, we will definitely
we can make one and then show you guys later with the other update videos that we want to show as we talk about that before. So any updates on the granular spreader?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. We are still working on it.
Yeah. Are there any plans to create something like a was that like a
corridor? Yeah, with
adjustment
setting for reducing the mower tracking. Yes, absolutely. So you just heard me talk to Maxon in the background about the area. We were just talking about that yesterday again. It's been in discussion for a while. It's just where to prioritize it on the list. But yes, for sure. Right, one option is taking the boundary back to the docking station, which is fine if you have a small yard, but if you're handling 6 acres, it could take a really long time to come back to the boundary every time Yarbo has to recharge. And then following the path directly to this user's comment, you don't really want to follow it directly all the time. So that would be working in like an offset so that it offsets itself within a range that you set on the pathway back to the docking station, so it doesn't follow that exact path all the time. Maybe it moves over a tread width, right? So for sure we are working on that.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yep, thanks. And then I think we just can only go like couple more questions. So are you perhaps considering the auger module? Since you already have the snowblower module, you're in a great position for it.
Yes, we are. So we will be sending out more surveys to everybody to kind of gauge a better path of what our existing customer base has grown by a lot, and we really, really appreciate that. But we've always said that, you guys are going to kind of shape what comes next, and so we'll be sending out surveys for that of potential modules for future development. But right now we want to fine-tune everything we have, get everything that we said was coming to you guys shipped, for sure.
And then any updates on the smart mode where it follows you? I think the smart.
So the Smart Assist module and Follow Me mode, I just wonder what kind of updates you would be looking for.
Yeah, because like Smart Assist module, we already released the folding mode.
Yeah, so if there's other functionality you'd like, if people don't know this, but if anyone doesn't know this or isn't aware of it, on the Yarbo website, if you click on the forums and you jump into the Yarbo forums, there's a whole section dedicated to feature requests, and probably not a lot of people know about it, but I will say we get a lot of activity in there, but relative to the amount of customers we have, I don't think a lot of people are aware of it. So the Yarbo forums on yarbo.com is a great place to ask questions, to learn, also learn from other users, but also feature requests. And it's a little bit better than Facebook because we actually keep like a running tally of what features were requested, if they were accepted from the development team, and if they're currently being worked on. So I would really, really encourage anybody that has feature requests. We'd love to hear them, but that way it comes in a controlled way, and you can see what's being worked on next. So and sometimes we do polls to figure that out.
Yep. Oh, so yeah, I think it's like some are like new users or they're not really familiar with these tech terms. So can you explain more detail about the deck reckoning means for Yarbo users? Does it
Sure.
resolve out of the bounce issues or GPS issues?
Yeah, so that it's exactly what that does. Yeah, in layman's terms, it just makes it so that Yarbo can work reliably with a low GPS signal. Not go out of the boundary when it shouldn't, not go into no-go zones when it shouldn't, because that's usually areas where we're getting a GPS signal that we trust, but it's actually not a good GPS signal. So Dead Reckoning has filters to get rid of those false positives or those signals, right? So the end result is, yes, it will work way more reliably in those situations.
Okay, so a couple questions left. So can you release a dedicated POW module, so not the like snowblower required? No snowblower.
Yeah, so we have had a lot of demand for that. We did have a prototype of a plow module. If there's enough demand, we will go back to it. But again, I would go to the forums and give your feedback there, because we have dedicated places for that, for sure.
Yeah.
Just go up a little bit. So I really like the follow me mode that is in the SAM module, the Smart Assist module. Are we looking to bring this feature to other modules, the mower, the leaf blower? So actually, it's in the leaf blower now, to my knowledge.
Yeah, because we do have like a handle.
Yeah, the hose, where it can follow you around. It wasn't there initially with the blower, but it is there now. And actually a lot more work is also being done on the blower to refine the obstacle avoidance. I believe it can blow in reverse right now, which was a big thing, so it doesn't have to go all the way down one way and then turn off the blower, drive back, and then turn around. It could just blow one way and then go in reverse, blow in the other way. So but the mower module, we might be able to do that. That is probably more of a challenge, not that it couldn't be done, but just because of the placement of the camera lenses. But if there's enough demand, we can work on that.
Yeah. All right. And when the force 4 inches gap graph.
Yeah, so any update on when the forced 4-inch gap from the boundaries will be removed? Yeah, so I think we got this in a couple questions before. But when Dead Reckoning comes out, you'll actually be able to control that.
Let me see what else. I think we are almost running out of time, but just answer like two more questions. I think, are you going to get the camera feedback while Yarbo is doing a job? We missed that.
Yeah, so we are working on that, for sure. We're working on that. We're working on third-party NTRIP or the need for, or the ability for Yarbo to work without a dedicated base station, data center. So we are working on some of that. Some of that might come in a subscription form, just because NTRIP, to do it reliably, you really need a service with an SLA agreement. Even where I am in New York, the NTRIP constantly goes down. It's kind of like, you can kind of relate it to Gmail. So Gmail, you get a free Gmail account, right? But if Google loads down, you're not paying them anything, so they have no reason to get it back online. So right now there's four base stations down in New York. They've been down for over a week. So so in any case, it might come in the form of some really low cost subscription like that. And the cameras will probably be the same thing. The reason for that is it takes the load off the CPU and GPU. We're doing a lot with Dead Reckoning. The next step with that is something called VIO, or visual inertia odometry, being used to help it navigate even better. All of that stuff taxes the system. And again, with a lot of robotic lawnmowers, they might only have 2 cameras or 1 camera. We have 6, so we really have to, to make sure we control the usage we have. Okay, go ahead.
Let me see. Can you explain what actually happens with the module gap setting? I don't have tall grass, but have a few uneven spots and losing some of the losing seems to leave lights in the yard mode.
Yeah, so can you explain what actually happens with the module gap setting? I don't have tall grass, Bermuda, Georgia based, okay? but I have a few uneven spots, and loose seems to leave lines in the yard where, okay. So yeah, so first of all, we are gonna fix the wording on that. Maxon is standing behind me. Yeah, loose doesn't really make a lot of sense. It used to be called low. Maybe that made more sense, but that is literally just the position of the module. So most people set it to loose or low because it lowers the rubber flap behind the module and it leaves nicer stripes. If you're finding that it's leaving a few uneven spots, then you can try just setting it to, I think, is the setting medium? Yeah, medium. So try setting it to medium. That will probably take care of it. So I would definitely go with that.
Yeah. Okay. I think we answered most of the questions, and then also we were mentioned about like, yeah, so we do have the titles, so like 5-year warranty things on the title. So we just want to explain to you guys that like we are considering having those like longer warranty for our users, but definitely will be announced more details later. So just like follow us, and then we'll
very
have
soon.
more details going on.
Yeah, we know the warranty is very important to a lot of people. So. Actually, someone was saying, like, can you explain the thank you for believing in Yarbo 500 care balance benefit? Yeah, so I think everyone got an email about that. That is basically a credit to
the current users.
Yeah, really past users. To thank them for being with Yarbo and being an early supporter. So we wanted to do something for them. So we sent out a survey to everyone. Please answer that, and we will have more information based on what comes from that survey. But that is just really an appreciation type thing that we wanted to do from us to you for thanking you for supporting us. So it's a credit you can use towards future things, and that email kind of goes over what those things are and how you can use it.
Yeah. So so if you have any more questions about that, so just like send us the email to our customer service center. We will be definitely answering your questions.
Yeah, and please fill out the survey as well.
Yeah. And then also don't forget the trimmer delivery options service.
Yep.
And then, I think we will just answer most of the questions. So if you have any other questions, feel free to email us later. And then we definitely will be have the videos coming, like more videos coming out later to show more like deck reckoning and then like obstacle detections and then like other more things.
Yep.
So thanks you guys. Sorry about like there was like a gap between like two lives together. So hopefully next time we never happen that again. So we don't know every time. It's just like something just happened randomly.
Really a weird one.
We never happened that before. So
but thank you guys for bearing with us. Until the next time, we will see you later.
Yeah.
Bye guys.